All right, folks. So, got a little something I want to point out. Katt Williams has been on the internet recently, and I'm about ready to talk about him, or at least a concept that he talked about, but not necessarily the main point that he was making when he was talking. Now, the first thing I want to say is Katt Williams told the guy that was interviewing him that he read over 3,000 books in a year when he was a child of like 7 to 8 years old, maybe a little bit earlier, maybe a little bit later. But that was a rough time period that he claimed that he was reading 3,000 books a year. Now, I want people to understand that if you were to take 3,000 divided by 365 days, you get 8.2 books per day, I believe. Will you do that for me real quick?
Sure. What is it again?
It is 3,000 divided by 365.
That's 8.2 books.
8.2 books per day.
I'm saying, so I'm not just reading, I'm reading in multiple languages. Like
How old are you at
I'm
the
probably
time?
reading 3,000 books a year from the time that I'm 8 years old to the time that I'm 12. No fiction books at all. I'm only reading nonfiction.
So you're talking about, and he said that these books were all like real books, adult books, okay? So 8.2 books per day. Let's just say that you had 500 pages, 300 to 500 pages. Okay, so he's saying that he is reading at that age 8.2 full books per day. And let me tell you something. To read a 500-page book in a day is rough. All right? If anyone who's ever read a novel knows that they don't finish a novel in a day, let alone 7 other books after that. It's about as impossible as trying to climb the Empire State Building. All right? Especially at that age. So essentially what he's saying is from the time that he wakes up to the time he goes to bed, doing nothing else other than reading.
This is not a stretch for me to say that I'm homeless. I'm living in a park in Coconut Grove. The park still exists to this day. For 8 hours a day, I would get up and go to the library and study for 8 hours a day to increase my education. And then I would leave out of there and go to the marina and steal car radios and make $2,000 almost daily.
So that right there, I'm going to tell you, probably not the case, all right? Now, given that alone, you should know that probably some of the things that he said was a little bit outlandish, all right? I don't really care that he's making the statements that he's making. And I'm sure that some of the stuff that he's talking about in regards to Hollywood and the elites and the people doing really nefarious things, I can tell you for certain a lot of that stuff is happening. I don't know how this man thinks that he was in the mix of all of it, because the way he is talking, it's like he was there for everything that everyone has ever done ever. I just don't see it, and I don't buy it. Now, let's skate to the point that I'm about to make. Katt Williams is talking to this interviewer, and this is the second interview that he does, not the first one. And Katt Williams goes to say that human beings need to be led, that they want to be led. Now, what's most disturbing about the fact that he said this is the fact that he equates human beings to being like sheep. Okay? Sheep with the little brain. That's exactly what it says. All they want to do is sit and eat. They don't want to think about all the things that are going on around them. And by and large, what he's saying is true. And when he says something like that, that has that type of truth to it, I think it should make the masses wonder what it is they think about the masses. And I'm talking about, when I say they, I'm talking about the elites.
Yeah, which is why I believe that they should stop trying to make it. I really do believe that, it's each one reach one, teach one, but the leadership is in yourself. Like, all of us are capable, well, not all of us, but many of us are capable of being a leader. Like, instead of sitting around just waiting on one person to be that leader, how about...
Well said. Well said. But in real time, being the leader of yourself gets you nothing. The people demand to be led regardless. There's not 13 shepherds and all these sheep. Why? Because it's unnecessary. Just one. Just one that has the connection with the sheep, which allows the sheep, who has a brain about that small, to be able to just focus on eating grass and not worry about falling off a cliff. We have the desire as humans to be led. We want to be led into battle. We want to be led into the football game. This is all because this is how we are wired. The cheerleaders and the pomp and circumstance, that goes back to the times of first humanity, because we do need that.
I'm talking about the people with the money, the entertainers. They know the type of mentality that they are catering to. They know that the average man, the average human being, has lower intelligence. They make, just so you know, the news dedicates their stories to people with the 5th grade level of education or below. Now, if they know all this, and they know all this about these people, okay, and they know that the average person has a 5th grade level of education and below, and they know that human beings don't want to think, that all they want to do is keep their head down and not think about anything that's going on around them, then that means that the stuff that they put in the media, the stuff that they put in our news, the stuff that they put, or the stuff that they use in order to persuade us that we as people are very simple-minded. They know that we're easily led, that we are easily distracted, and that they can do just about whatever they want, whenever they want, because we're not going to question it. We're not going to say anything about it. We're not going to stand up for ourselves. We just want to be led. He even says that we want to be led into war. Now, I want you to think about that. We want to be led into war. We want to be led to the games. We want to be led to the football game, yada, yada, blah, blah. That we have cheerleaders up there that are there specifically to keep us distracted. That says a whole lot right there about how the elites project their realities onto us. They can control us by very simplistic means. If the average person does not want to think and they want to stay focused on simplistic things, which is the reason why we have entertainment in the first place, then that says actually a whole lot more about us than I think we really want to, I guess, to accept, to understand. I think it's a very unfortunate thing, because they are saying that we are stupid. Now, and given the fact that we're stupid, that also means that if we are stupid, we are not mastered by any means. There's no mastery there. We don't have enough intellect. Our IQ is not strong enough collectively to do anything about anything. This is where self-mastery comes into play, okay? Do you want to be the type of person that is known for just being stupid? The fact of the matter is, if you were to ask every single person out there individually, do you think you're stupid? They're going to say no. But if you ask them if mankind itself is stupid, if people in general are stupid, they're going to say yes. But somehow on an individual level, we'd all like to believe ourselves to be intelligent. Well, that's pretty bothersome. You know, one of the things with self-mastery is being aware. It's huge. In order to master oneself, you have to be aware of what's going around you. You have to be able to know the things that are happening around you in order to be able to affect things, okay? The fact of the matter is, they count on us not affecting anything. Whether it be someone like Katt Williams, whether it be someone like the President of the United States, or anybody out there that is leading anything. The people who are pulling all the strings, they count on us not doing anything. Look at what happened. Look at what happened to us when it occurred. We darn near let them bring out reports on us, to where we couldn't go anywhere or do anything unless we had papers. Do you know that happened already once in the last century? Actually, it happened a couple of times. But the most important one is when it happened under Hitler's regime. You had to have papers in order to go to this place, to that place, to eat food, to buy anything. We came this close, okay? And most people were willing to let it happen. Most people were fighting to let it happen, okay? I don't want to get into the politics of stuff here, be it liberal or Democrat or Republican or conservative, okay? But at the end of the day, there was a good portion of society that was ready to narc on their fellow man, okay? They were willing to state that their neighbors next door, oh yeah, that dude over there, he hasn't gotten a yet, okay? That's the same thing with what happened in Australia. There were areas where they were chasing people down in the street and forcing them. Now, this video is not about that. It is about control in general. And if you don't have control over this, if you are not self-mastered, you won't have the ability to make decisions for yourself, and you will let people who you perceive to be above you make those decisions for you. When does that become dangerous? I'm going to tell you right now, it's already dangerous. And like I said, you have Katt Williams right there being interviewed, saying it out loud, that mankind in general, with the brain the size of a sheep, okay? He said the sheep has a brain about this big, and he is very much relating this to human beings, okay? There's going to be some people that will probably come in the comment section, oh, he was not saying this about this, he was saying this about that. I'm not stupid. I can read between the lines very easily. He was very direct about what he said and the way he said it. So trying to convince me otherwise is a waste of you typing. He made it very clear. So, when does it become too dangerous? When is enough enough? So, That's what disturbs me most, is that Katt Williams can feel very comfortable in coming out and saying exactly what he wants to say about the way human beings are. I mean, would he even have a job if people were smart? I don't know. And here's a guy that claims to have like an IQ that's off the charts. I don't believe that either. He's relatively intelligent, but I definitely wouldn't give him genius stature. That's for certain. I myself, well, talking about myself is irrelevant. I will just say this: I know other geniuses. I know people who are extremely bright, extremely intelligent, and they definitely put Katt Williams to shame in terms of how well-spoken they are, how thoughtful they are. Obviously, his mathematics isn't really too advanced. Otherwise, he would know that 3,000 books in a year, and to say that out loud makes him look stupid, right? But the thing is, here's where he's right. Most people wouldn't turn around and fact check that. They wouldn't even think about that whatsoever. They'd be like, oh, wow, Katt said he read 3,000 books a year. He must be telling the truth. Again, 8.2 books a day. I challenge you to read 3 books a day and see how that goes for you. Three books of 500 pages apiece. And I mean, speed read it if you have to. I guarantee you, you're not going to absorb anything. So, given what I know about Katt Williams is, A, he counts on people to be stupid, because only a dumb person would believe that he read, as a child, 8.2 books per day, every single day of his life. So, the question is what type of person do you want to be? Right now, are you comfortable in thinking that you know what's going on in the world? A lot of people think that they do, but everyone falls for things very easily. Okay, the whole thing that's going on in the Middle East right now, I can guarantee you, is not what it is being presented as. But yet, every single time the elites pull something off, a good 65% of society believes what it is that they're saying, regardless of the fact that these people have been caught lying over and over and over and over again. The media has been caught lying over and over and over again. There's so many times that stuff has come out that has shown that nature and what's really happening in reality isn't what it was, or isn't what the media presented it to be. But every single time that they say jump, people jump. And they do it out of fear. And part of the thing is, when you're self-mastered, you're not easily pushed towards the fear button, okay? A self-mastered person does not react. In order to be proactive, if you react all the time to something that's thrown at you, then you're not thinking well enough to be able to understand what it is that they are throwing at you. And so what ends up happening is you react out of fear, and then you do something stupid. Anyway, at Evolve Ministry, we teach you how to control your own narrative. We're teaching you reality creation. And if you're creating your own reality, then there is not room for other people to create your reality for you, including the elites and the rest of the world, or comedians or whatnot, okay? It's time that we all started really critically thinking about things, because our society is starting to really come to a grinding halt in many different ways. And until we start stepping up to the point where we can control our own narrative, they're always going to be there to sit there and pull our buttons, or to push our buttons, pull the trigger, do whatever it takes to keep us jumping to their tune. Like I said, the fact that Katt Williams can comfortably sit there and say that human beings aren't smart enough to lead themselves, and that they need a leader, okay? That they need someone to take them to the promised land. Well, this is the problem when people are there and they rely on messiahs. They rely on people who are dishonest to do things for them. You know. So you got us relying on messiahs. A messiah to come in and undo the problems that you have made for yourself. A messiah to come in and unmake the choices that you made. We're always relying on someone to do something for us when we have the free will and the mental capacity to do these things for ourselves. And when we have world leaders that consistently lie to us, okay? When we have an entertainment industry that is known, absolutely known for being corrupt, for having a profound effect upon our youth. And of course, we know the things that are going on in the entertainment industry actually very much is an attack on the youth of our country. I'm not going to get into the word, and I'm not going to say what it is that I need to say, because now YouTube is the way that it is. But what I will say is that almost everything that our society is composed of, whether in being the institutions, okay? So schooling, the military industrial complex, the entertainment industry, all the way up, all the way down to the political industry. Everything there has been lying to us for a very long time. And without the mental faculties to be able to read between the lines, to do the proper research, and to quit putting your head in the sand, okay? Because again, Katt Williams outright stated, all human beings want to do is they want to eat their food comfortably, they want to look down, and they don't want to think. Again, he said, brain this big. Most people do not want to engage their brains. Most people do not want to, and this is something that I don't understand, because you have a massive supercomputer in between your ears there. It's a supercomputer. This allows you to be able to reach heights that you never thought was possible. It allows you to reach your potential. Why wouldn't you want to discover your fullest potential? But our world has us in such a way where we don't seem to care. All we want to do is go through these little cycles and routines that we do every day, which is basically you wake up, take your shower, you go to work, you do mindless tasks that enrich other people and gives you a little bit of a breadcrumb for the work that you put in that day. And then you get off work, you go home, you get your kids, you might play with your kids for a little bit, but then you get on that couch, you watch as much television as possible before you eventually pass out, and you wake up and you do it all over again. Is that the only thing that your life is worth? And if that's the only thing that your life is worth, then, you know, there's no point in you watching this video, because this video is geared towards seeing human beings reach their fullest potential. Evolve Ministry, that's what we're for. We want to see people reach their fullest potential, go as far as they can possibly go, and be able to create the lives of their choice. You know, all the stuff that I teach, and people think that I'm just teaching aerokinesis, telekinesis, atmokinesis, magnetism, all those things, right? But the real purpose behind all of that is so that people can take that knowledge. If your mind can affect reality around you in the physical matter, okay? If it can do that, then you can also build your life as you see fit. And if you have someone else that's there that's constantly pulling the strings, if you're the type of person that has to go and clock in every single day and just follow orders, okay? It's the same thing that they teach military guys to do. Follow orders, that's it, don't think. Follow orders, don't think, do as we say, not as we do. If that's all you want to be worth, then this video isn't for you. But let me make you understand something. That's all that the elites think that you're worth. And you prove it every day by being apathetic. You prove it every single day by sitting idle and doing nothing. You prove it every day by not reaching your potential, not trying to strive for the best that you can be. So, for me, I think it's a tragedy and a travesty that Katt Williams can speak so freely about how stupid mankind is. About the fact that he can say that we do, in fact, yearn and want to be led. Out of his own mouth. That mankind needs to be led. We want to be led. We don't need, in his words, you don't need 13 shepherds. You just need one shepherd that has the connection with the sheep, and the sheep are the people who all they want to do is sit and eat because they don't have a brain strong enough to want to do anything else. It's the reason why guys like him who, they decide that as a young man, I want to be an artist, or I want to be a comedian, or I want to be a politician, or I want to be this and that. Well, they know that in order to reach those heights, that you have to have motivation, you have to have will, you have to have strength, inner strength. You have to be able to manifest, you have to be able to make a strategy and then go out there and do it. And then everyone else, okay, they just follow the same quotient, which is go to high school, or actually go to school, get out of high school, graduate that, go to college. So then you go to college, and you go to college to learn how to basically regurgitate the information that they give you, which is the same thing that you're expected to do once you get into a job. You go and do that at a job, and then you go home, be a law-abiding citizen, mind your own business, shut up, and then let everyone else do the thinking for you. And let me tell you something, if you don't want to think, and if you don't want to do the thinking for yourself, trust me when I say someone else will gladly do your thinking for you. So, again, who do you want to be? What kind of person do you want to be? Do you want to be the type of person that Katt Williams knows that the majority of humanity is? Is that you? And then what I find, again, amazing is that he did spill a lot of good information. I don't know how much of the facts of that information is true in regards to specific people, events, places, dates, or times. I don't know about that. I do know that the elites and the people in Hollywood are definitely corrupt. I do know that not only do they lie, but they have, it is a ritual system. Okay, so they are known for being peds, and there's a design behind that. It's not just because they're sick, because they definitely are sick, but it is not just because they are sick people that they do that sort of thing. All right, they shape society that way. It's the reason why that sort of stuff is in movies, and Disney's all over it. There's certain things that they are doing to shape the way we are, the way we live, and who we are by the things that they do in those movies. They present things a certain way. And it's all political. Every last bit of it. By doing what they do, they know that they can basically pull the strings and people will jump. So It's up to you guys. What do you want to see in the world? And the thing is if you don't know how to master yourself, my suggestion is you better learn. You better learn quick. That's what we do. That's what Evolve Ministry is. That's what we specialize in. It isn't all about abilities, but you have to take those abilities and know when to apply those abilities for them to be useful to you. So anyhow, Michael Grubb, Evolve Ministry, don't know what else to say. I just hope you're listening because, like I said, they're out there. They know exactly what they're doing. Like Katt Williams was talking about. They know what they're doing, and they know how to appeal to the masses to make sure that they get us to do what they want us to do. Okay, so the last thing that Katt Williams was speaking about, which is actually the main thing, it wasn't the last thing, was about the Illuminati and the hold that Illuminati has on Hollywood, and that the people who are in Hollywood basically are very sick, disturbing, negative, evil people. Well, my whole thing is how can a populace ever be smart enough to see all the things that are going on with Hollywood, and how can they know how to stop such a thing if they're not aware enough to be able to do it, if they're not mastered enough up here to be able to do it? And the fact of the matter is, right now, we're fighting a war that we can't win because of that very factor. So, personally, I would like to see the people of this world become stronger, smarter, better. Everything that Evolve Ministry does, we do it in order to A, increase your awareness, B, increase your intelligence, C, increase your strength, your hand and eye coordination. Everything that we do is to evolve you, to push you to new heights. And you're going to have a very difficult time seeing all of the tricks that are put in front of you. If you watch any of their videos, or if you watch a lot of their performances, there's stuff littered all throughout. There's signs, there's graphs, insignias, all sorts of little, what do you call it, sacred geometry, mathematics, stuff that they put in front of you to see if you are aware enough to know what's going on with it. And for the most part, most people are not educated enough to see and to understand what it is that they're looking at. And any way you look at it, I know a lot of people out there are like, well, it's all satanic and it's all this and it's all that. That's part of it. But a lot of people think that, oh, well, if I'm a Christian and if they're satanic, then boom, I'm doing the opposite thing. And no, you're not. No, you're absolutely not. The Christian religion is riddled with it too. Don't think that just because you've adopted a religion that you think is counter to that of the religion that you think that they worship, that somehow you are on the right side and that they are on the wrong side. They own all that too. Okay? The Christian faith has a lot of the same problems, per se, that Satanism actually has. As a matter of fact, there's not too much difference between them. Now, if I were to own this world, let's just say, and I was negatively polarized, if I were to own this world, you know what I would do? I would own all the religions, okay? And I would make each religion believe that that religion was the one and only true religion. That's a sure way to own everybody that has any sort of different thought process than the next, because by doing so, you ensure that everyone is in the same pool, but they don't even realize it. So, trust me when I say that just because you're a Christian and the Illuminati supposedly worship Satan doesn't mean that you are somehow like the good guy, that you are the antithesis. It doesn't work that way. You'd be shocked to know the origins of Christianity, and you would be very shocked to know that Christianity, if you were to do your real research, is basically an offshoot of paganism, which is basically an offshoot of Satanism, was basically an offshoot of Islam and all these other things. They're all the same thing. They're all Abrahamic faiths. If I were to get into the Eastern religions, you know, and I won't, because most of you have a hard enough time just with the Western ones, but they all are still owned by the same thing. Anyhow, love you all. You guys have fun. Think about what I said. Look at it very carefully, because I'm telling you what, the Hollywood elites, they're not going to stop doing what they're doing, ever. Not until the populace is smart enough to put an end to it themselves. And what they do spreads across all lines. So whether it be the police departments, our criminal justice system, our military-industrial complex, the political system, hell, politics is entertainment. That's exactly what it is. So be aware, puppet strings are being pulled, and if you align with any of those things, the religion, the politics, any of that, you're dancing to the tune that they're playing. Bye.